Hello, everyone. How's it going? Welcome back to the channel. This is Dylan, and today we have a special guest, the Miles Minute. Say hello.
Hello, thanks for having me on, Dylan. I appreciate you.
Yeah, we're doing a special co-hosted video today about Donald Trump, and we are going to be breaking down some amazing updates that Donald Trump has in store for America and essentially the path that he's paving to change and make some major changes in our country, especially having to do with allowing people to practice their faith openly, which I think is a really huge thing that not a lot of people are discussing. So I wanted to bring on Miles to join me on that. And also, I will have Miles' YouTube channel linked down below as well for you guys to go follow him. So go make sure and subscribe to him. I'll have it linked down below. And yeah, Miles, just want to introduce yourself real quick.
Yeah, I'm Miles Menard. I'm a 19-year-old conservative Christian who loves Jesus and loves people, and threw myself on YouTube to do whatever God wills with it. So I
Awesome.
appreciate any support.
Yeah, it almost looks like you're wearing horns.
Like, yeah, no, I could. I think we got to have some design issues that we got to think through,
Yeah.
but I'm not. It's not supposed to mean anything.
Yeah. So we're gonna go through just some amazing videos from Trump talking about faith, religion, and some things that he cares about. So yeah, before we dive in, we're gonna read the Bible because God comes first. Amen. So comment amen down below if you believe that. Today's Bible reading, we are going to be reading Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. Amen. Comment amen down below today, guys. I truly do believe those words have a lot of meaning, because as we are heading into this next 4 years, I don't think any of us would have expected all of this turmoil to happen leading up to this election. And it just goes to show you that God does always have a plan. So we're going to start off with this video from Donald Trump saying that Jesus Christ is more famous from him. And a lot of people on the left do put Trump down for being selfish. But I always think that Trump, even though he is very famous, a lot of times he will redirect it and say, no, it's not about me, it's about Jesus. So let's listen to this.
You can do all you want, but you still need help from the boss. We need help from the boss. That's what happened. We need help. Right? Yeah, we need help. It's all right to say it. Now, they'll criticize me for that. How dare he say that? How dare he say that? No, I'll say it. I'll say it. I'll say it. Somebody said to me the other day, you're the most famous person in the world by far. I said, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. They said, yes, you are. I said, no. They said, who's more famous? I said, Jesus Christ. I'm not taking any chances. I'm not going to have an argument. Hey, I'm not having any arguments. Jesus Christ. I'm not going to take any chances. I'll give it, I guarantee.
So I think it's like quite a bit of a contrast. I don't know if you saw when those Christian guys went to the Kamala Harris rally and they said, Christ.
Yeah, they said Jesus is Lord, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Jesus is Lord.
And Kamala was like, you guys are at the wrong rally.
Right. And then just about a week later, some people yelled the same thing at a J.D. Vance rally. Remember that? And J.D. Vance said, that's right, Jesus is Lord.
Yeah.
I just like that.
Yeah, it's a huge contrast, I think, that we're gonna see. And I'm excited for Melania to get back in the White House too.
Yeah.
But yeah, what do you think about the idea that the left says that Trump is selfish, but really here he's being pretty humble?
Well, yeah, Donald Trump is humble enough to, admit that something is bigger than him.
Yeah.
Here he's talking about God, and the fact that he's running for president, and the fact that he, ran despite being shot, and ran despite, the left went on a witch hunt essentially against him, and he still ran for president. And I think that also reveals to us that Trump also thinks that America is bigger than himself. And that God is in control of America, and like he said, the boss.
Yeah.
It does not shock me at all that Donald Trump calls God the boss, because God spared his life earlier this year in the summer of 2024 when his head almost got blown off.
Yeah.
God spared him there, and I think Donald Trump knows that, and he's going to always remember that.
I know you said that God saved Trump's life. The ladies on The View, they thought that was pretty selfish for Trump to say. So let's watch this.
I want to point out one thing. I'm speaking to fellow Christians. I was raised Catholic. I'm a Christian girl. When something like this happens to you, like this assassination attempt, and you say something like God was watching me, that is a very unchristian thing to say, because it's very narcissistic. What about Corey? What's his name? Comparatore, the fireman who also got killed.
I don't know. I think some Christians.
What about all those guys who got killed on Sandy Hook? All of those people. Yeah. It's like, oh, God was watching me and not watching them. There's something very disturbing.
God should have pulled the plug on that mic yesterday.
Wait, God is the technician now?
That is insane.
They
will do anything.
Yeah, like when I saw that they said that Trump was selfish for saying that. I mean, I was just watching your face while I was playing that. Yeah, it's like, it's crazy how this is what the people on the left, this is what they watch.
Oh, well, I am 100% sure if this lady, I don't know her name. Do you know her name?
You know what's funny? Her name's Joy.
Yeah, okay. So I bet if Joy almost lost her head, then not only her, but everyone on The View, when she got back, would say, oh my gosh, God was watching over you. Thank goodness you're still here. That is ridiculous. But when it happens to Donald Trump and he says that, oh my goodness. I just want, if any Catholics are watching this, she does not speak for all Catholics. I can surely say that. I'm not a Catholic, but good night.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. That's just, it's insane.
Yeah.
Okay, let me pull up the next clip.
That is crazy.
It's like the contrast is so nuts.
For too long, politicians have tried, oh, have they tried, to centralize authority among the hands of a small few in our nation's capital. I see them all the time. Bureaucrats think they can run over your lives, overrule your values, meddle in your faith, and tell you how to live, what to say, and where to pray. But we know that parents, not bureaucrats, know best how to raise their children and create a thriving society. And we know that families and churches, not government officials, know best how to create a strong and loving community. And above all else, we know this. In America, we don't worship government, we worship God.
It's interesting. He talks about the link between power and God, right? And in the Bible, Jesus is talking. I forget where in what book, but he says the Son of God will sit on the right hand of, right? What do we usually think of? We think of the right hand of God.
Yeah.
But how the Bible describes it is actually the right hand of power.
Oh.
So power is a word used to describe God, and what the government is trying to get a hold of is power. That's what the government wants. The one who has power is God. And so the government here is trying to play God. Well, obviously, as Christians, we know that they can never truly have all the power, but that's what they're after. They're trying to play God, and Donald Trump and his supporters don't stand for that.
I feel like a lot of what Trump is trying to do is like take the government out of your life.
Yeah, Trump actually, he's not a hardcore super mega Republican.
Yeah.
He has some liberal tendencies.
Yeah.
I think that's why Joe Rogan likes him so much. Same for Elon Musk actually, and a lot of these Democrats.
I know it's pretty interesting to see Trump hanging out with Elon after because Elon is like very liberal, like especially with electric cars and all this stuff.
Yes,
but it's like Trump. It's not like that's not what this is all about for Trump.
Yeah, and Trump's put him in a position, right, where they're literally going to be cutting off the fat in the government. And what I really like here is how Donald Trump says, right, we're not going to worship the government, right? But he doesn't say we're going to worship the Trump administration, or the Republican Party. Instead, he said, or even the Constitution, right? But instead, he said we're going to worship God.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really liked hearing that from him.
Our religious liberty is enshrined in the very First Amendment in the Bill of Rights. The American founders invoked our Creator 4 times in the Declaration of Independence. Benjamin Franklin reminded his colleagues at the Constitutional Convention to begin by bowing their heads in prayer. I remind you that we're going to start saying Merry Christmas again. I also want to speak to all of the people, see, you thought I forgot, in our faith community who are here with us tonight, veterans and non-veterans alike. You're never going to be forgotten. You'll never be forgotten. My administration will always support and defend your religious liberty. We don't want to see God forced out of the public square, driven out of our schools, or pushed out of our civic life. We want to see prayers before football games if they want to give prayers.
He agrees with himself.
This to me, like this is like a form of worship. Like he's not up there in church preaching, but he's up here giving praise to God in a sense.
Right. He is.
Yeah.
He is. And it's not only, for the Christian people, because, the job of the president isn't to be a pastor.
Yeah.
Right. He's not shepherding only Christians.
Yeah.
But he's shepherding the country. And part of the important part of America is freedom of religion. And that's what he's saying. He's not saying here, we are only going to have Christians in our nation, but religion as a whole. So whether you're Buddhist or Hindu or atheist even, right? He's not saying you'll go to heaven, right? But he's saying we're going to defend that liberty, that freedom of religion for you. And that's important.
Yeah, wasn't there someone who got like canceled for kneeling before a football game or something? Like,
oh yeah, well,
and like I think Trump just wants to allow people to express themselves, and it's like pretty similar to politically too, with like Elon buying Twitter because It's like he wants people to be able to freely express themselves. That's the only way that you're gonna find the truth, is
Right.
if you shut one side, or in the case of religion, like multiple sides down, like how can you arrive at the truth if you can't hear all sides?
Exactly. What Donald Trump supports, and really I think what he embodies, is freedom of speech, that First Amendment. And the left hates freedom of speech. They hate it. They do. That's why they're trying to get rid of Donald Trump.
Yep.
You know, that's why it's why they're trying to get rid of Elon Musk now, right? He's doing everything so good, but suddenly he buys Twitter,
Yeah.
right? And people are able to speak freely on there now without being censored. Freedom of speech alert bells go off on the, with the leftists or with the Democrats. I don't know.
Yeah.
Leftists is safe to say. But
there's been a lot of people leaving Twitter too.
Yeah. I mean, because they don't like it. They don't want to support it. And they want to say, I think it's important for the left to be able to say, it's just a rally of Republicans and conservatives, right?
Yeah.
But it's really not. It's really not. I mean, if you're a conservative, then your feed is going to be conservative, right? And you're going to see that a lot. If you're political a lot, you're going to see, that political atmosphere on your Twitter feed or X feed, whatever. But it's really not even mostly or all conservative or Republican.
I mean, Joe Biden announced he was stepping out of the race on Twitter.
Right.
So he used it as a way to let everyone know.
Yeah, I mean, I follow Donald Trump, and Donald Trump is asking poll questions. Like, do you support this or do you support that? I mean, we learned that Joe Rogan was endorsing Donald Trump over Twitter.
This is an Elon talking about the teachings of the Bible.
The teachings of Christ. I believe, that he's like, I believe in the Christian principles. Love thy neighbor. I believe in turn the other cheek, which is very important to have forgiveness. Because if you don't have forgiveness, then you have an endless cycle of retribution. The teachings of Christ. I believe.
So, I mean, I don't think Elon is like a full-blown Christian, but it's pretty interesting to hear him talk about at least acknowledging that he believes in the teachings of Christ.
Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Statistically, the people who make the best neighbors, there was like a poll or something that went around, and they said the people who make the best neighbors are Christians.
Oh, really?
Just because of how they live. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Elon Musk recognizes it, and being a boss of that many people, too. Like you said, forgiveness is important.
Yeah.
And loving your neighbor is important. He could not lead, the companies that he is leading without some of those Christian tendencies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cool, man. Well, thanks so much for joining the show.
Well, thank you for having me, Dylan. I appreciate it.
Nice profile picture.
Thank you.
So make sure to subscribe to the Miles Minute, link down below, or you can type it in on YouTube. And let me know your thoughts on this one.
Thank you.
Thanks.